Hey y'all, from Spindle Mountain Mercantile, I'm Heather. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I made this Christmas burlap book stack. It did not start off in my brain anything like this. First, I went to the Dollar Tree and found 3 books the size I wanted. This first one is Pearls of Wisdom by Barbara Bush. Doesn't really matter what the book is, but seeing her picture and wanting to read this book gave me some nostalgia. Sure did like her. The next book is A Case for Keto, and again, I did not pick these because of anything except for size. This last book is about some Roman czar and his canoodling with some woman, and I hope it's not R-rated. I could have gone and looked online and searched, but you know what? It's going to be tied up, and I'm not going to worry about it. So right now I'm thinking that red book is so lovely, and I love the gilded on it, and I want to do something like that. Maybe I could paint all the books red. So I pulled out my Christmas gilded, I forgot what they're called. Maybe I can write that later. Anyway, I got out my new Christmas IOD transfers, and ooh, I like this one with the trees. It would fit there. And I'm thinking that I could do one part on 2 books, so it could say like Merry Christmas or Born is the King or something on the top 2 books together. I've seen Sonnet from Sonnet's Garden Blooms do something like that, and here I'm thinking I can put some molds on the top, but I know I want to tie them together, and I'm not sure how I would situate those. So as I'm thinking about all this red paint and gold gilding, of course I'm watching YouTube and I'm watching DIYers. I had done a search for books DIY'd or repurposed or recycled, and I just started playing the list, and who pops up first but Erin from the Provincial Farmhouse. Y'all, she's great. If you love French country, you must follow Erin. And she is doing some burlap books, and I had burlap sitting right next to me. I thought, okay, I'm going to use it. I'm going to do it. So I got out my scissors, and watch. I did not cut it enough. It ripped the wrong way. My mom is a quilter, and she said if you want to get a true straight line, always tear your fabric, and it will get all the threads. They won't be like wonky. They won't be skewed so that the fabric will lay flatter. So I just make it much bigger than the book opened up, and I rip it. Erin used glue gun for this, and I'm going to use glue gun in some sections, but I have this Gorilla Glue adhesive spray, heavy duty, that I found on Amazon. Maybe someday when I learn how to link things, I'll link a thing to my Amazon stuff. I don't have an Amazon store, but I don't know how that works. You know what I'm saying, right? This is maybe something you want to do outside. I do have an open window on one side and a fan on the other side, so all the air goes across, but this isn't something you want to spray in a small setting. So I'm going to put the book down right in the middle and start with, I did give it some pressure on the binding, but I decided just to move it over and press real hard to get that side attached. And I'm not worried about if there's wrinkles or anything when I first do that, because I'm going to stretch it, as you can see right here, when I get on the other side. There's a little divot next to the binding, and right there I'm pushing my finger in there and making sure you can see the divot. It gave it a little bit of dimension, and here I'll do it again. I love how that makes just a little bit of difference. So I am going to cut the fabric. It doesn't really matter how much it goes over. I just don't want any of the book to show. So I'm going to spray with my adhesive again, just all around the edges. Now at this point, I don't know how to do this all the way, and I'm halfway watching Erin, who is really good. And I just, got inspired and started going with it. So I could have cut some corners and edges differently to make it more give it more of a smooth transition on the corners. That string, boy, that adhesive is good. That string is everywhere, stuck on my fingers. Wait till the end of this video. Oh wait, no, this isn't the one. I had one video where my hands are so clean and pretty, and then by the end they're green and black and gold. Almost solid. I turned into Shrek, or the Princess Fiona. Is that her name? I don't know. Alright, so I am cutting the edges, and I thought, okay, I've got to find a better way to do that. So these are just regular scissors I got off of Amazon. My husband says a sharp knife and a sharp pair of scissors equal safety. So make sure you have good scissors. Fabric scissors would be best for this. I don't have fabric scissors. My mom never let me use them growing up, and I understand now, even as an adult, that I am the reason that I don't have nice things. It didn't stop at my childhood home. It lives on. So I'm just gonna fold in the sides, and right now I'm realizing I should have cut the little strip for the binding also. I should have done that before. But really, y'all, there's nothing you can't fix with some glue and scissors. It's like the duct tape of crafting, right? When my husband was in Afghanistan, he said his best tool for defense was duct tape, because it fixed everything when they were in a bind. Yeah, this is much easier to cut beforehand, but that's okay. It still turned out really good, and I learned as I went. I'll show you in the next 2 books how I did that differently. I can't believe how easy this was. One of the things I want to do with this channel is help other people realize that they are crafty. I have so many people tell me how talented I am, and it always blows me away because I'm not. And every time somebody tells me that they're not crafty, immediately I think, well, neither am I. My mom was crafty growing up, and I learned how to do some stuff then, but I'm telling you, my mom wouldn't let me use a glue gun either, because as you'll see in many of my projects, the glue strings go everywhere. I even bought a really good glue gun that's cordless, and I'm gonna have to get a better one because it's mediocre. Anyway, back to the books, I think, or was I saying something else? Oh, the creativity. I want people to know that you don't have to do things perfect. You can hide a multitude of sins just by adding glue, and I mean, seriously, you can put a sticker over something, you can put a piece of cloth over something, you can put lace, you can put ribbon. On these edges right here where I didn't quite get it completely covered, I am getting the fabric. Sorry, it's out of the screen. There we go. I am getting the fabric to cover that up so you won't see it, but if it had not worked, I could just take a dab of maybe some chiffon or cream colored paint and just dab a little dab right there, and it would be fine. Nobody would ever notice. It's like when you're a kid and you're playing the violin in a concert and you are so embarrassed because you make so many mistakes, and everybody keeps telling you afterwards how good you did. Nobody knows you did those mistakes. They have no clue. You fixed it so that, I mean, you just kept going, and it was perfect then. And maybe even if it wasn't perfect, it was enjoyable, and they had a good time listening. So right here, don't do this, okay? Don't poke yourself. My hand is actually kind of lower. It's about 1.5 inches lower right there. My left hand is. So I'm not going to break through. And trust me, these cheap scissors are not going to break through. I figured out how to do this by the 3rd book. I fixed it. And it was really easy actually what I did. I can't wait to show you. All right, so and also right there I should have used the glue gun, but live and learn. So next I am just going to speed things up and let you watch me cover the other books. If you haven't already, I would love if you would subscribe to my channel. I am pretty new at this, and I was so excited because last week, just maybe, I think I posted 4 or 5 days ago, I had 20 subscribers, and that was a huge deal to me because I did open the channel in 2023 around Christmas time, and I was, I didn't do much. I just put some shorts out there, and by today, when I'm doing this voiceover, I have like 33 followers or 32. It warmed my heart, or not followers, subscribers, yeah. The more subscribers I have, the more my videos will get out there for other people to see. So if you like what you're seeing, a thumbs up and comments and a subscription will help my channel grow exponentially. And I appreciate that. And again, you guys, don't do it for me, do it for you, because one day when I'm a big YouTube star, you can say, hey, I was there in the beginning. Wouldn't that be great? It's all for you. So I did learn to trim before I glued, and to also cut the corners before I turn them over. I cut a little too much though, but again, that's okay. Nothing a little bit of cream colored paint won't fix. Sorry, my phone keeps going off. I'm just so popular today. This is where I figured out how to do the binding. So right here, I realized that when I pull the book open, it makes a gap between the binding and the pages. And that gap is the perfect size for one of these plastic briars. No, that's not a briar. It's the plastic stick that comes with IOD rub-on transfers. And it fits perfectly. It's just the right width. It's thin enough that I can move it back and forth and get all of the thread down there. So from now on, boy, I'm gonna use those all the time. And I don't know if I would have used adhesive spray anymore if I'd thought about it. I think the glue gun was better for this part. There we go, open it up. Now on this one you can see I put my finger, my left pointer finger, I'm pressing, not right now, but when I get the fabric all the way down in there, I'm going to press really hard when I pull the plastic stick out, and it's like taking off a band-aid. You just do it really fast. That way the fabric won't come back out. So I'm holding it really tight, and then I'm going to pull it. There. Ta-da! Look at that. Ugh, perfection. At this point, I still don't know how I'm going to decorate it. I'm still kind of thinking about the gold, maybe keeping it flat so I can put one thing across the front. But the more I look at the books and the size they are, the more I think they should be centered more. I am going to give it one last look though with the gilding. Nope, not going to do it. I'm going to pull out some of my favorite books. Crimson Velvet, or Velvet Crimson and Yuletide. You guys, they are sold out at IOD headquarters. So if you want these transfers, you need to find somebody. You can buy them in my shop if you're in upstate South Carolina. I don't do mail order, but I have a good friend, Heather, who does. Her website is createyourowncozy.com, and if you haven't followed Heather at Create Your Own Cozy, you are missing out. Boy, is she great. So now I've realized what I want this stack to look like, and I'm going through the transfer book to find pictures that match my thoughts. To find an IOD stockist local to your area, just check out their website at Iron Orchid Designs and you can do a search. Shopping in person is so much fun. So I want to put different things on the binding instead of putting them together, because at this point I realized I really want the books to be more centered all the way around four sides so that it's like a pyramid. When I cut my pages or my pictures out of my transfer books, I leave the page intact. That way I don't misplace my little pieces. I do put the smaller pieces, I put them in a plastic baggie that has some kind of reusable glue at the top. So I realized that I should have divided these by 3 and then made each one, taken one off, one square off this top book and had a square at the bottom book, but that's okay. It still looks good. I just cut them apart and started at one end and then overlapped in the middle. I rub pretty hard because sometimes with fabric, IOD doesn't want to stick at first, but I promise it's super, super easy. You just have to use more pressure. I push down the whole transfer in the position I want it. I realize this piece just isn't big enough for this book, so I'm going to go find another piece to add to it. Anyway, I press down all the way across, and then I start using the plastic tool to rub the carrier sheet on the top. And when I have it all, when I've gone over the entire surface, I gently start pulling back the carrier sheet, and where it bends away from the transfer, I keep rubbing with the plastic stick, the tool, I guess it's a tool. And as I pull it away, I just keep rubbing in that little crease area, or it's more of a bend. So this one looks good. I'm trying to find one that really matches the color of the leaves in the one I put on the binding. And here I think I have found it. It's a little bigger and it's a little bit different. It's a little, is that the right green? Maybe. Nope, there it is. There's the one. There's the one. That's it for sure. So I don't have to worry about too much fussy cutting around the leaves because it's going to overlap and it will look like one continuous thing. If you didn't know I did this, you probably wouldn't even see it unless you looked really close. I'm just going to fussy cut the middle here so it's not a straight line. One of the things I love about IOD with their big transfer books that have several pages that make one image, on the edge it's not a straight line. So if there are roses, they will cut around the rose on both sheets. So when you put them down, the edge isn't a straight line. I have had other transfers that just have a straight line and you can see it, especially when it's just right in the light. It looks like somebody actually wrote a line between the pictures. IOD has 2 very clever sisters in charge at the helm. They started the company and are still the boss girls. They are so clever. They're witty too. They're worth following. They make some funny and cute videos and awesome tutorials. Oh, doesn't that look cute? I just love it. Oh, I'm so excited. I want to keep this. Again, my husband's like, no, we have all the things. You don't need to keep all the things. I'm just making sure all the books go the same direction. I have chosen this tree. I like the tree a lot, but it's a tiny bit too tall. Well, I have a fix for that. And I also want just a little something else in the book you can see up in the corner. I think that one's Yuletide. I used Yuletide and Crimson Velvet. There are fairies and animals and Santas. Last year, some of the Christmas designs, like we had one book called Merry Fairies, and it was all fairies. Oh, it was so cute. And we had another one with animals, and so cute again. I don't know if there's any of those out there. They are limited edition at Christmas. Anyway, you can, they put those together in one book this year. I thought that was pretty good. I squealed a little when I opened it. So when you're done with the transfer, when it is on, I don't know if you can see that there, but I will take that plastic sheet and just rub over the whole transferred. It's called burnishing. So here I'm finding a star for the top of the tree. And the star has a shadow on it that comes from the upper left, and I want to keep that the same as the tree. I'm sorry, the shadow, the light comes from the upper left, making the shadow on the bottom right. So I don't know if that matters to other people, but it mattered to me. If one of your transfers doesn't stick all the way, just simply lay the plastic sheet, the carrier sheet, back down, and it will go back. Just rub that area and it should transfer. If you are using paint, make sure, if you're putting it on a painted surface, make sure the paint is dry. I am so impatient, and you will see in some of my videos I did not wait long enough. It's a mess, and you can't reuse those transfers because it picks up the transfer and the paint. There I am burnishing. So now we're going to find something to complement this tree, but of course I have to put them on the stack again to see how I like it. So squeal worthy. Can't believe how much this changed from my vision in the beginning. When I was in the store picking out the books, I had no clue. I just knew I wanted to do a book stack. So here I have some fairies and a Santa. These fairies, some of them have, not that one, but that one. See at the bottom where her feet are? There's like dirt, so I would have to put her down at the bottom. I don't want that. I want a fairy to look like she's flying. In case you missed it, I keep coughing. If I forgot to edit any of that out, I am so sorry. I have seasonal allergies, and they're pretty bad today. I haven't taken my allergy pill yet. I reckon I should do that. My sweet husband put it in front of my face right here, and probably an hour ago, and I'm just now seeing it. I'm looking for something else that would complement this tree. And I found a couple more fairies. But look at those birds. And here's the thing about birds. Fairies too. But birds sell so quickly. Almost anything I put birds on, it's gone within a couple of days. Fairies, they're really popular. I think it depends on what I put them on. And also the fairies, I feel like, are a year-round thing. I will probably save some of them. They have cranberry and, what is that? I forgot what that ivy is called. Well, y'all can tell me in the comments. Even though they have that, it still is very year-round. It's year-round adjacent. I really, really want to put fairies on there. Again, I'm leaving the sheet in the book and just cutting what I need so it will stay in the book. Doesn't always work. Sometimes my books come apart. Oh, these are cute. Are they not? But here's one of my problems with these. The color of green just clashes with the tree, the color of the green and the fairy. I took the backing off so I can see what it really looks like, and it just clashes. So when I put them back together like that, they won't stick. Before I put it in the plastic baggie, I will put a piece of tape on that on two sides so that it won't come apart, because if it attaches to another piece of plastic, it's a goner. These birds, I think, okay, I have to go back to the birds and see where I like them. Another thing about putting the fairies on here, I felt like they needed to be centered, and if I'm tying a string around it, it would just go right across half of the fairy. And I realized the birds, I can put the string down the middle and then above their heads. Goes my popularity dinger again. Let's see what this fairy looks like. Yeah, now that one doesn't quite clash. It's more of a nice complementary contrast. But by this time, I know it's for the birds. It's the birds. They are so cute. Oh, I love them so much. I might take some of those birds and make something for my house. Just cut the berries off so that it's more year-round, or maybe I'll find some roses or something from another transfer and put it over that. Transfers go really well on top of each other, by the way. Right here, I'm hardly using any pressure like I had to do on the fabric, because they stick to each other so well. Layering transfers is a lot of fun. One of my next projects, I messed up really bad, and I fixed it by layering 3 or 4 transfers, and you can't even tell. So here you can see where I lay it back down a couple of times. There, missed a spot. Oh, there we go. It's perfect. I love it. Now I'm burnishing it. Make sure you use the same side of the plastic the transfer was on. Don't use the top, because sometimes those are sticky. So this twine is from a burlap ribbon that I believe I got at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to take 4 strings off. I like how this looks because it has the little black notches. I do wish I would have thought to double up the top to bottom, or take out half of what I'm doing here, because when I went around twice, so it has double the twine around it. Now did you see how I wrapped that around twice? That holds it, so you don't have to put so much pressure with your finger. It'll stay a little bit better when you tie the knot. And I'm just doing a square knot, left over right, right over left, or right over left, left over right. Trying to figure out if I want to do the bow here. Not sure what's going to happen. So let's get 4 more. And put it down the top. I don't want to cover up the star, but I found a fix for that. See, you guys, as you go along, just trust yourself that there's another step. If you aren't sure what to do, just start doing what you want or what you think would look good, and as you work on it, it'll happen. You don't have to be crafty to, well, be crafty. You just have to do the thing. Just start doing it. I promise you will get to where you realize, oh, I can just keep going. This looks nothing like what I planned in my head. Nothing. All right, so I'm going to do another square knot. And the strings are different lengths. I don't want to lose all of that length though, but it's really hard to tie a bow. So I'm going to use some glue to help me. And instead of tying a bow, I'm just going to make some loops. I really need to figure out how to silence my phone. Silence! I am not actually a very technologically inclined person. My husband is, so there we go. Making sure it's even. And here I realize, okay, I can just kind of separate these, especially up by the star, and I think it'll show a little bit more of the twine, and I like that look. I like it not so thin. And a bonus up at the top, it will let the star shine through. Okay, so right here, this is where I have to put on my little thumb protector because I'm going to press right down on the glue. So right where my right hand, my fingers are pinching together, see the short strings? That's what I'm holding. So I'm going to push all those short strings right into the glue. And that's where the bow will be. So I don't actually tie a bow. And I'll just cover up the middle part with some pretties. So here I'm going again. And I'm putting the glue down with my right hand, and then I'm only pressing with that doohickey on my finger, which, by the way, is made for people with little tiny fingers. It was starting to strangle my finger. I thought my finger is going to turn blue, but better than having a big old icky burnt spot on it, right? So now these did lay down flat. Had they not, I would have just put a couple drops of glue behind them to make them lay flat. And I'm going to get out my greenery that I found on the side of the road. Yep, I use it. This one, the white one, that's my favorite. I use it in everything. There was a bunch of it. I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out. I'll cry. I'll probably have to pay like $30 a stem to replace it. And I found maybe 6 or 8 stems in a basket on the side of the road. I cut them off, and when you cut them, the inside of that is plastic, so it just makes it flat, and the top then is rounded. It's perfect. And I love using berries. I'm not afraid to dig in the trash. You wouldn't believe some of the things I found. There's a short in my videos that says Merry Christmas to Me. You should check that out. That was one of my best dumpster finds. I am loving this book so much right now. I really think I could talk my husband into keeping it. If you are going to make something like this, won't you please tell me about it in the comments below? If you have any questions, I'll answer them. Or if you'd like some leads on other DIY influencers to follow, I can give you some great names. I hope y'all enjoyed my video. I am so blessed and feel so grateful for everyone who has encouraged me and who is following me along on this venture. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. And I hope if you have a rooster like Rhodey, he does not try to attack you when you are taking pictures of your crafts. If he does, run.